So welcome to Foreigner in the Philippines. So there's another letter. So instead of us answering this, we just answer this in video. So by that we have a video. Correct, darling?
Yes, Dad.
Correct. So
What can I say?
Terence, how are you doing? And Beth? I am Lisa, married to a foreigner and now living in Texas for almost a year. But before I married him, I already have a foreigner boyfriend also. And we accidentally met in one of the restaurant in Texas.
What a coincidence.
Is Texas a big, is that a city, darling?
Oh, tiny little village, honestly. No, it's a very,
It's like-
very big
It's like
state.
Philippines, the whole Philippines.
It's a very big state,
Ah,
right?
how could they meet in restaurant if it's big? It's not like town.
Well, if she met both on a dating site, it's quite possible that the most impossible
Could happen.
that could happen.
Okay.
So anyway, she's in the restaurant.
I met here, but before I married him, I already have a foreigner boyfriend also, and we accidentally met in one of the restaurant in Texas. He is very
Did they
handsome.
know each other, I wonder? Does she say that?
I don't know. Let me finish. Let me finish the letter so you understand. Before we accidentally met in one of the restaurant in Texas. He's very handsome, and believe me, he looks like an actor. Wow.
Which one?
Maybe Piolo Pascual or Brad
Which
Pitt.
one?
The ex.
The ex
Yeah.
is very handsome.
Yeah, because he said, oh, here, there, Terence, how are you doing in bed? I am Lisa, married to a foreigner and now living in Texas. But before I married him, I already have a foreigner boyfriend. So in other words, an ex. He is very handsome and believe me, he looks like an actor. When we separate ways, I want to hug and kiss him, but I am married already. And he knows that also. While I'm in my car, I am in my car already when he knocked the windows and said that I am beautiful. Oh.
I am when I am what?
When I am on the car, he knocked the window and said that I am beautiful.
So we've moved to the car now, and she's sitting in the car.
And it's nice seeing me in person.
And the ex comes up
yeah,
and taps on the window. What happens to the husband?
maybe the husband is not in the scenario, right? Maybe he said that I'm married. I'm married,
Oh, I
right?
see. So she's not with her husband.
He's not
when
with
she
his
sees
husband.
him.
Yeah.
Eh.
When we separate ways, I want to hug, kiss him, but I'm married already, and he knows that also. I am in my car already when he knocked the window and said that I am beautiful, and it's nice seeing me in person in unexpected ways. Unexpected ways. I opened the door in my car, and he said that
He opened the door.
I opened
Not,
the
not just the window.
I
Oh,
opened
my
the
God.
door in my car, and he said then, huh? I opened I opened the door in my car, and then we got the torrid kiss.
And
Happened.
get a torrid kiss.
A torrid kiss happened. My mind said no, but my body dictates opposite. Oh. Until I finally have courage and wake up in reality that I am married already. He said we still can be friends, but I can't forget him. His eyes, his lips is what I always imagine. Terence, what should I do? Should I divorce my husband and reconcile my ex-chatmate for 2 years? As time passed by, I have no physical attractions nor a feelings to my husband. What should I do, Lisa? Do you understand the letter now?
Are you crazy? So she has a husband, and she's not attracted to him.
Yeah.
What happened there? That's what the letter should be about.
Yeah.
But here she is now talking about this handsome ex, who she's all fawning over because he looks like an actor,
This is,
some handsome celebrity,
yeah.
and instead of opening the window, she
Yeah.
opened the door.
Maybe the window in the car is so small, Han. So and maybe the ex
What,
is
too
tall.
small for a torrid kiss?
Maybe they got a small car, you know.
Well,
And you got a step neck if you got a step neck if it's
you're on her side, aren't you?
no, I'm just trying to imagine how that happened, right? That he opened the door, but still it's not right, you know. At whatever you do inside the marriage when you've been married is not the right thing to do. It's not unethical, you know. No matter how no matter if you don't have feelings to your husband, you know, or if you met your ex, you know that if you know that you have a feelings on him, then it's better if you tried to if you tried to hide, or you tried to go to run away.
If you said hello,
Yeah.
goodbye.
Yeah, rather than talking, or letting the door for the temptations to be happen.
So obviously
You know?
this actor X is a predator. He's a predator because now suddenly, from seeing him
Yeah.
in the restaurant, now he's tapping on the window and she's opening the door.
Yeah. So something like that. Put yourselves in the shoes of your husband. You know, put yourself in the shoes of your husband. Would you allow that? Would you want to experience that betrayal? Right? So something like that. But I always believe, you know, I always believe that, you know, don't allow any crack to let the temptations come in the relationship, because when the temptation come in and then you cannot control it anymore, then that's where the marriage broke. That's where the marriage suddenly cracked,
Yeah,
right?
what she means about the crack is that it's easiest at the beginning
Yeah.
to say no, whereas if you put yourself in that position where you've opened the door and now it's hug time, and then the next thing along the line, as it gets more and more and more and more, is you're hugging, and then you're torrid,
Yeah,
you're
because then
kissing torridly.
yeah, because the next time, if you're still thinking on him, you know, the next time happen is the big thing, right? That is
If
very
you're-
simple.
If you find yourself, they've kind of research has proven this, that if you find yourself thinking about someone a lot, chances are that you will actually meet them.
Yeah.
Whichever comes first, whether it's a chicken and the egg, thinking about them or meeting them, whichever comes first is another thing. But if you find yourself thinking about somebody a lot, some connection will happen where the other person knows that you're thinking about them. This happened to me many times, that I start thinking about a friend, and then the next thing I know, I get a message from them. I get an email or a
Yeah.
message on Facebook or something, and it shows that we're connected mentally, spiritually, in many ways that we don't
is
really
it-
understand.
Is it easy to get divorced? Because here in the Philippines, I think we got a senator, two senator that now trying to push the divorce bill, you know, and
Are they?
still it didn't happen yet. I think because there are two countries only that don't have divorce. I think it's Philippines and Israel. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, the one that is really Catholic, you know, Catholic country. That's the one that they
Well, a
really
lot of
tried.
the South American countries
but-
are Catholic.
But the one that really don't want divorce, right? Because they always believe that the marriage should be intact, right? But
Yeah.
I believe, you know, if I am going to say about it, I'm prepared to have a divorce in the Philippines, you know, because would you agree with that?
Well, when I see the mess that happens to women's lives, yes. I mean,
Yeah.
in the Philippines, I should mention for those who don't know that there is a law that if you split, if your husband leaves you or your wife leaves you, and then you find out that they've met somebody else either before or after the break, you can actually take a case in law
Yeah.
against them, and if they find that person
Guilty.
guilty, they can serve 2 years in prison.
Is that they call it bigamy?
Bigamy.
Yeah, bigamy. You know. So I think
It's not actually bigamy, because if they, I mean, if you found out that they'd gone through some kind of marriage ceremony, yes, that would be bigamy. But in the Philippines, it's only that the one that left, if they take up with another person and they're living with him
Together.
or her as man and wife, then you are deemed a victim.
I think, yeah, you're right. And I think also, there's an annulment in the Philippines, right? But annulment is only to those who can afford. Annulment is only for rich people.
Maybe
right?
that's something that they should attend to, because
know?
what happens is, in the case of a man leaving, and he goes off and he can find another woman, it seems, very easily, whereas the wife is often left with one or two or three or four children sometimes. So it's difficult for her to start again.
Yeah, and also
And that's the problem.
And also the other thing is, there's a lot of young Filipina, young one that marriage earlier.
Tragically, yes.
And then suddenly the attitude of the boys, and also especially if the partner is also very young, so in their
Yes,
16, in their 18, 19,
apart.
20, right?
They grow apart
You
rather
know.
than together.
So so that's why I agree. I agree if there's a divorce in the Philippines, but still it's a long term, it's a long discussions in the,
Yeah,
in
and we've
the
gotten
Senate,
away
right?
from
So now-
from Jenilyn. Was it
no,
Jenilyn?
what's the name of that? Lisa.
Lisa.
Yeah.
Oh, Jenilyn
On my
was the other one.
I think my advice to you, ma'am, do not do a decision right now that you want to divorce to your husband, because you might be just been carried away on your emotions. Maybe
Well,
you're just been.
the guy that was tapping on the window and she was opening the door for, he hasn't arrived back in her life. She doesn't know anything about him. He might be just passing through.
Yeah,
And
you don't know.
yes, and a little side adventure
You don't-
is
you don't kn-
completely okay.
Let me
And,
finish, Mahal.
no, I was in the middle of a sentence.
See,
honey.
we
That's,
agree.
that's the way it works.
We disagree.
But yeah, he hasn't arrived back in her life, so it's not like she's being presented with
Correct.
another option. Right, your turn. Over
Even
to you.
I forgot already.
You forgot?
I told you if I wanted to speak, I want to speak
gotta
because I need
Just
to.
be quiet then and wait
Yeah.
until you speak. And what about me?
Stop now. I'm angry
Next.
now. Yeah, so I'm back. So
She's back. Oh,
my advice to you, my advice to you, ma'am, is do not make a decision right now. Because maybe you've been carried by your emotion, and then for me, that's your ex, right? Why is it that foreigner become your ex? Maybe
Yes.
he didn't put an effort. Maybe he didn't value it. Maybe you are a lot on his life at the moment where you've been chatmate before. Another thing is, try to have a dates with your husband, have an intimate moment with your husband.
try to create
Yeah.
intimate moments.
Create some intimate moment with your husband. Maybe that's what you need. Maybe your husband is a lot of work and then just come home. Just come home with you and no time with you. Talk to your husband, saying that, look, seems like we growing apart. So can we do something to make it closer and back into us beginning before? I want my husband back that is loving. I want my husband that value me, that making me feel that I am the queen, the princess in the house.
Oh, so
right?
it's all his fault then?
No, let me finish. So something like that. And try to love your husband in the beginning. Why is it you married him?
As it was in the beginning.
Yeah, as it was at the beginning. Why is it you married him? Don't just jump up on the conclusion that I wanted my ex because I feel something something growing in me. Maybe it's just a flesh calling on the flesh. Correct? Maybe it's just calling of the flesh. That's why you
Maybe
wanted.
Maybe when she had this torrid kiss, she felt this 2x2. I don't know.
Stop that. Or maybe, how about you tried to have a 1 hour torrid kiss or 1 day torrid kiss
what?
with your husband?
A what?
Torrid kiss, 1 month, one day.
A torrid kiss?
Without stopping.
Without stopping.
So what I mean is, I wanted to be with the side of your husband. Don't ruin the marriage because of your impulsive decision and impulsive calling on the flesh. Always remember that the physical appearance will always be deteriorate. Will always be gone. But the love and the care, of that person to you will never be gone.
Yeah, and even if it was possible to get a divorce, easily going through a divorce, separating, pulling apart everything that you've built in those years, and moving on is never easy. There are many walking wounded who are around wondering how on earth they're going to survive such a break. So it really is best, if you possibly can, to put back the love that you once had. The fact, it is true to say that whatever was there in the beginning, unless there has been a big betrayal, which does make it impossible for some people, it makes it a deal breaker if there's an infidelity. But that apart, you can get it back. You can get that affection, that love back.
Correct. I think the other thing on that, look at this way, you know, if you are been single, you know, or you are been widower, a woman is widower, right?
No, the woman is the
widow.
widow.
If you, okay, if you are in the Texas now, or you ever, you know, if you are in America, Texas, is Texas in America?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, if you are in the Texas, if you are in Texas now and you are a widow, right, and you met your ex in the restaurant, that's another story. I would say, that's what do you call that, meant to be, right? If you are a widower, but you are
if you are a widow.
Yeah, if you're a widow, right? If you're a widow, right? Because it means that, wow, pinagtagpo ng tagahana, you know, pinagtagpo ng tadhana. But then, you know, it was being meant, fate.
Maybe they were fated to meet. Fated.
Fated meant, right?
Or that it
meant
was
to
fate.
be, yeah,
it was
meant
fate
to be,
that
yeah.
They were meant to be.
Correct, you know. But you are in a different scenario now. You're still married, right?
Yes.
You know, so if your ex-boyfriend who is a foreigner that makes you aroused, you know, makes you wanted again to have a kiss with him, right? Correct, darling?
Yes.
Why is it he become your ex? You know, so maybe what if you're gonna be together and he gonna drop you again in the garbage, right?
Yeah.
You know?
A second time through someone with someone who was your ex is said to be a triumph of hope over common sense, because if they split in the first place, that you might have. Actually, I think the Americans have a phrase for it. They always have great descriptions for everything, but they say that the reunion sex, because let's face it, if he was that kind of ex, then they would have been doing it, and the husband's been doing it. But when they get together again, it's very, very passionate and intense at first, and then if they found the new relationship, the new try, if they found it on that first few encounters, it would be a mistake, because it's never going to continue like that.
Correct.
You'll be chasing that again for a long, long time, and it will never come back.
So that's our viewpoint, ma'am. You know, for me, you know, try to rebirth the relationship with you and your husband.
Yes.
You know, and then give a chance.
Rekindle, light the fire again.
Yeah, make fire of your relationship with your husband.
Yes.
Have a great day. Thank you so much, and we wish you the best, and hoping that you get something on our little thoughts, and of course, some viewers out there, give her an advice.
Yes.
Have a great day.
We'll look forward to comments on what this age-old dilemma is. I think Barry Manilow even wrote a song about this.
What's the song, darling?
About how it felt to be close to an ex, that he could feel the romance, or certainly the physical attraction, coming in again. But anyway, that was Barry Manilow.
I got a song on that. I know. Yeah.
Don't spoil everything
You know,
by singing.
I know the song.
Darling.
Let me sing.
Right?
I want to end with a song. You know, with Barry Manilow saying
that really would be the end.
Clear the thought.
Me, 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 me. Go ahead.
Thank you so much and God bless. Bye-bye.